Hey everyone, what you are about to watch is unlike anything I've done before. It's a 40-minute long interview with Lukas Nydegger, who won the Youth Olympics. The Youth Olympics where I finished 9th. So basically it's just a little talk between me and him, and it was super fun to make. We had a lot of laughs, and yeah, I know it's only the very committed subscribers who will watch the entirety of the video, but yeah. It's for myself mainly, and for the one who enjoys to watch something like that. So yeah, enjoy. So record. Okay, I am now recording.
Yeah, I can see it.
You can see that.
Yeah, Rasmus is recording a call.
10. It's been recording for 12 seconds.
I can't see that one.
So this is Lukas Nydegger. He's a Youth Olympic champion, and tonight we are going to talk with him. Welcome to today's show, Lukas.
Wow, this is awkward.
Okay, we're going to keep it super calm, just having a friendly conversation. Lukas, start telling me who you are, how old, where you live, and stuff like that.
My name is Lukas Nydegger. I'm 17 years old, and I live in Bavaria, which is in Germany.
And Bavaria is, I'm not sure how big Bavaria is compared to Denmark, but Bavaria is quite a big size. So can you be more specific, like regarding skeleton?
Okay, I'm living near the Königssee track, which
Yeah.
is in Schneider and Königssee, which is the same place where I'm living.
Okay. So I think if anyone is watching this, you are probably familiar with the sport of skeleton. And so we're going to skip that part. If you want like a quick summary, it's basically, can you help me describe it? One person racing down on a piece of metal. You've gone up to 138 kilometers, right? Something like that.
I think 42
on ice.
But
super fast, super fun. This guy, Lukas, he has won the Youth Olympics. You've won one Europe Cup. You've never finished out of the top 10. I just saw it. And yeah, how long have you been sliding for?
I've been sliding for 7 years now, but I didn't know that information. I actually didn't know I never finished out of top 10.
I just looked on your IBSF profile, and you have never finished outside of the top 10 in the Europe Cup.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that one.
So I would say that's pretty cool thing about you've been doing skeleton for 7 years, but how long have you been racing competitively?
Competitively international since 2 years, but competitively in general, I think 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
But it's just minor German races it was before.
Yeah, okay. So you've been pretty successful so far. I have some questions. And I think if I can first off, what is your favorite, your top 5 tracks in the world? I think you've mainly been in Europe. You've only been racing in Europe and sliding in Europe, but there are more than 5 tracks there. So what are your top 5 tracks?
Okay, that's a tough call because I haven't been to much more than 5 tracks, but definitely my favorite track is the Golda in Latvia. Basically on the same spot, it's still St. Moritz.
Yeah.
So they both share first place. Then I got Königssee, which is my home track.
Yeah.
And the next one is Lillehammer.
Mm-hmm.
So basically place 4. Mm-hmm. And my 5th favorite track would be Altenberg in Germany. So
it's a pretty interesting. What about a track like Eagles, for instance?
I hate Eagles, to be honest. So it's no fun to me because it starts from the start,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't like. I can't run fast, and it feels weird
Yeah.
because it's flat at the top, and then it just starts going down.
Declining, or what? What do you mean?
What?
The decline happened fast, or what? What do you mean by?
Like the first 50 meters, they're just flat.
Okay.
And it feels so weird because normally it's like maybe like this, but
Yeah.
in Eagles it's like that.
I've never been to Eagles. I think I'll go there next season, but I'll figure it out by then.
It feels weird, and then sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's
And
fine.
like every turn feels weird. They're like some are short
Yeah.
and some are really long, and they don't feel right because there's almost no pressure,
Yeah.
and the steering is weird. If you do too much, you're slow. If you do not enough, you're slow too. And I just can slide there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It took me an entire week to somehow manage to reach the bottom.
When did you go there?
2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Was that a Europe Cup race?
It was.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 races
Okay.
at the same time.
That sort of leads me into my next question, which is, you talked about St. Moritz and Sigula being your two favorite tracks, which obviously is two widely different tracks, and then comparing those to Eagles. Do you see yourself more as a technical driver, or do you want to just go with the flow, being more of a glider?
I feel myself more as a technical glider, as technical
Technical glider.
both. No, I'm definitely more of a technical slider because I feel more comfortable if I have to steer a lot
Yeah,
and the light turned off. And
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, you
okay.
like so. Yeah, I think it's a fun combination that you say that you like St. Moritz and Sigula, because to those who don't know Sigula, I've never been there myself, but I've seen it on, for instance, the World Cup. The curves happen super fast compared to St. Moritz, right?
They do. It's like it's one turn and then it's next one
Mm.
is next one, and it basically feels like they're spitting you out,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels so good.
Yeah.
I really like it, and the reason why I like St. Moritz is because the ice feels so good,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still, even if you're sliding not too good at the moment, it still feels like you're sliding it good, and it still feels really smooth and everything. So that's what I like about St. Moritz, even
Yeah.
though it's not my type of sliding actually.
Mm. So we'll get back to the reason why I think you like St. Moritz so much. Um, you say you like the ice and how it feels in St. Moritz, but I'm sure it hasn't felt like that all the time. So, like, do you remember your first slide, first time doing skeleton?
I can't remember my first time doing skeleton because it's been such a long time.
Yeah,
First time doing skeleton, I started from the straightaway in Koenigsegg.
yeah.
And the one thing I know, I was playing ping pong. I was like bumping on the left side of the wall and on the
Yeah.
right. And it took me from the middle of the straightaway, I think I probably hit the wall 15 times or something.
Mhm.
So it must have been really weird. And what I know, I stopped in Kreisel. So somebody took a broom and pushed me.
Oh, that's so fun. So, how long did it take for you to be like, okay, skeleton is something that I want to do? Because I think for a lot of athletes in the sliding community, it's an active decision that you say, okay, I think this is something I can be good at. I'll try to go to a track and then sort of see if I like the rhythm of sliding sports. But you sort of grew up with it. So, how long did it take for you to realize, I think this is fun and I think it's something that I can be good at?
The first, basically, I made this decision the first time I did it
Yeah.
because I was like, hey, this is fun. So I thought I just do it because it's fun. Then I still did it because entirely because of fun
Mm-hmm.
for all the way until 2 years ago when I found out, hey, I'm not too bad at this.
Yeah.
And then I decided, hey, why not be more competitive? Because you're fast and it's fun.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know
So,
how to say more.
yeah, I think I understand you. So, moving on or looking back at the last 2 years, what do you think has driven you the most? Is that the obvious good results you've had, or is it the fun that has come along the way or always has been there in a way?
What's driving me more is still the fun because it can be successful and all, but if it's not fun,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good because there's a lot of things I'd rather do than doing something that's no fun for me, even though I'm successful at it.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's really important. Also, like, yeah, I don't know what to say, but during the Corona times, at least here in Denmark where I live, a lot of people has just found a rhythm in their daily life, and so they're just getting bored, and they in some way don't have the desire to have a fun life at the moment. Can you draw the parallel? I mean, it wouldn't be fun to throw yourself down ice if it only was for the results.
Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to say. Okay, that
Yeah, it came out weird,
remove
but
it.
I think we
That came
all
out
understood what you meant and what I meant.
weird. Yes.
Moving on to the two of us. Do you remember the first time we met?
I remember the first time I saw you
Yeah.
because I was looking at the starting list
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wait, who is that one? So Tim and I were searching
Mm-hmm.
for who's the
Oh,
Rasmus guy.
so for context, Tim is Tim Bywinkler, who is your training buddy, right? We can call
Yes,
him that.
he is. I forgot to say that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Tim also raced us in the Youth Olympics back in January. He finished 8th. I finished 9th. Yeah, so now you have some context who Tim is. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. And Tim and I were looking through the dressing room and we were like, where's this Rasmus guy? And then we found you.
Yeah.
And then at first we were intimidated. We were like, oh my God, we don't want to talk to that guy because you looked so much more like a wrestler or something
Yeah.
instead of a skeleton slider. So we were afraid and intimidated. But then I think 3 to 4 days later we talked because I think you started talking to us.
I think at the start area in Winterberg, I don't know what I said to you, but I was like, hey, I'm Rasmus or something. And then you look at me, you go like, wait, that was German. Or something like that. And then
Yeah,
this was,
I think so.
I think this was December of 2018, so it's not even that long ago, but my German has evolved quite a bit since then. But yeah, I think we talked a bit of German and maybe even a bit of English when I figured out or found out that you were so good in English as you are. That was that was LV, right?
Yes, it was Elfo.
Yeah.
So for context, Elfo is basically some kind of race, some kind of minor race in Germany where younger people get to race too on different German tracks.
To get the lethal German education that gives the good results in the World Cup, right?
Sort of.
Okay, so you say that like obviously a lot has happened in those 7 years that you have been sliding. Who would you say has been the most influential person in your skeleton career? Has it been your parents for supporting you, or does a coach staying clear in your mind for leading you the way?
I think the most influential people in my skeleton life are probably two people, which is one is my coach, because she basically made me, or she didn't make me, but she is the reason I think why I'm competitive in this sport,
Mm-hmm.
because she inspired me somehow. And another person are you, because you are really professional, and I didn't know that before, and that influenced me a lot. And I actually got more professional than I was before.
Oh, that's super nice to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that sport can do for people is that it can make friendships. And for sure, we have made a friendship, I would say, and just to let you know, I'm really grateful for that.
Me too.
So the reason why I started Skeleton back in December of 2017 was because I heard about the Youth Olympics. And at the beginning, I thought I would go into the monobob, but then I talked with my coach, Bernhard Lehmann, and he said for the general education, you need to do the skeleton to sort of get the rhythm of how to drive a track fast. And so that was my way of leading or getting into the Youth Olympics and sort of getting my thoughts around that. And so we are now talking about the Youth Olympics, which you won, Lukas Nydegger. I don't know if you remember. When did you start thinking about the Youth Olympics and sort of think, oh, this is something that I can go to?
The first time I heard about the Youth Olympic was 4 years ago when we were introduced, or actually when the Youth Olympics in Lillehammer 2016 were going on. That was the first time when you do. I have a Yodely in my bed.
Yeah. I'm thinking about buying that one, but yeah, continue.
I didn't think I would go there because I thought there was other people that will definitely be better than me, because at first I actually didn't really think about results, and that was why I didn't even compare my results to other results.
Yeah.
And about 2 years ago, which also has driven me, I found out, hey, I have a chance of going to the Olympics, which was a moment where I had some sort of a breakthrough. And I thought, first of all, it made me a little more, that's another of the reasons that made me a little more competitive and a little more professional. And that day made me really think about it. Basically, the day 2 years ago, where I actually thought about going to the Olympics, Youth Olympics.
Yeah, okay. So I want to take the time back. Excuse me?
I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it made sense to me at least. So I want to take the time back to February, I think, of 2019. I'm on your IBSF profile right here. And if we highlight this race, 15th of February 2019, and we click on results, we have Lukas Nydegger right here, who wins with 3.29 seconds to Tim Beiwinkler. Then we have Dmitry Grevtsev from Russia, Takanobu Usui from Japan, and then it sort of continues. And look, there I am with 6 seconds behind you. So this was the first international race in the youth that you ever did. Do you remember that race like only vividly, or is it crystal clear in your mind?
I only remember it vividly. But the one thing I know, the day before I couldn't sleep because I was so nervous, because I didn't know how I was going to do, because I knew I was the fastest guy in every training, and I was like, I was just thinking about hoping that I would
win the race
too. And then I dreamed about crashing and stuff.
Oh.
And then our breakfast, because the race was so late, we were able to decide when we were doing breakfast. So Tim and I went to breakfast at 10 a.m. And that's actually the only thing I can remember of that day.
Okay.
But one thing I know, I was so nervous, even when standing at start. But the moment I laid on my sled, that was the moment when nervousness has been gone. And after first heat, I wasn't nervous at all anymore, because I was like, that sounds like a little weird, but I was like, hey, I can't lose this race anymore.
Yeah.
I have so much of an advantage. And that's what I remember.
Yeah, so it's clear to everyone who has been following the youth just a tiny bit that your dominance has been, what do you say, like crystal clear. I am saying your results from the qualification right now. So the 26th of November 2019, the qualification for the Youth Olympics 2020 start. You win in Lillehammer. The following day, you win in Lillehammer once again. Then we travel to your home track for the 7th of October. There's this next race where you finish first again. The following day, you finished first again. And so I don't want to talk about the qualification a lot, because I think there's a more interesting topic to dive into. But to just touch on it briefly, how important was it for you to show your dominance during the qualification compared to, like, I just want to qualify? Do you understand my question? Does it make sense?
I do understand. And actually, I didn't intend to win each race, but it somehow happened. My only intention was to qualify, just as you said. So my only goal was to be qualified, and that was, at first I was like, maybe I won't qualify. But after first race, I saw like, wait, it's pretty probably probable for me to win or to qualify. Then the next day, I won again, and that was the moment when I was like, the only thing that can happen now is I crash and I won't be able to qualify.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, because Koenigsee, I knew I wouldn't be too bad, because I had the most experience on that track, because the only guy who had comparable experience to me is Tim, who still lacks 3 years of experience on me. Yeah.
And he still finished third, which was great, I think, for him. But your dominance was quite striking. What do you say? Yeah, something like that. It was obvious to everyone. But what do you want to say?
But I didn't intend on being that dominant. My only goal was to qualify it. But I think I repeated myself now 3 times.
Yeah, it's fine. What I want to talk about, which I find interesting, is that I go to you, I fly to Koenigsee on the 26th of December of 2019. And I was planning on staying there, which I did, and we did a lot of racing. I even think you did a 50.7, right? Was that at that time in Koenigsee?
I can't remember, actually, but that's possible, yes.
Yeah. So you were pretty strong. You didn't show any sign of, oh, maybe he's tired of sliding because he's been doing it for so long. You were pretty sharp for the Youth Olympics. However, I am finding the first practice here. Where are you? Lukas Nydegger. First practice. You get the second fastest time 2 times in a row. That's because you finished behind Elvis Weinbergs from Latvia, which both of us know very well because he's also a friend of us, right?
He is, yes.
The following practice, we have 4 practices in total. Lukas David Nydegger finishes second and third in practice, behind Elvis and I think it's
I think it was
nope,
James. Was it?
nope. It was Sandro Mai from Austria. He
Oh
finished
yeah.
second and third and second. So he was faster than you in the second practice. Then we move into the third practice. You get third and third. And all of a sudden, our friend from Switzerland, Livio Sommermatter, gets some speed in his sled and finished first and second. Last practice. So, just to clarify, until now you have not been the fastest in practice leading into the Youth Olympics, right?
That's true. And I didn't know what to do because I was like, I'm not sliding too bad. How am I this slow? And that was the moment when I started doubting everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember talking to you like a few times and you were like, oh, I don't really know what's happening. I really want to go fast, but it's not happening for me right now. Oh, I'll be satisfied with silver as well, or I think you said something like that. Then we go into fourth and last practice. You take one run, which is a quarter of a second faster than the second one, which is Livio Sommermatter. You decided to call it a day after that run, along with your coach, I assume, right?
Yes.
What went through your mind after all the hassle with being second and third the entire week, and then the last practice, 2 days before the Youth Olympics, you go the fastest?
The reason I stopped doing it, or I didn't take the second run, was because I was like, hey, it's working now. I'm fast again.
Yeah.
And that was like, I don't want to stop being fast. And that was why I didn't do the second one. And I thought, like, if I'm not that fast in the second heat again, and I was just fast in the first heat, I will start into the race, not be knowing that I haven't made it in the last heat. And I'm always like, if the last training run was good, I feel better in the race.
So you
Other
wanted to
people
feel confident.
better. Yes, I wanted to feel confident, and I wanted to feel confident. That was basically the reason I didn't do the second heat.
No. Do you think, have you learned from those 3 practices prior to the first practice?
I think I've learned a lot, but because I knew, okay, I don't have to feel bad because of a couple training days that haven't been going good. But the funny thing is, at those days, I was feeling bad at the track, but the moment we entered the village, I was like a complete different person out, and I was like the same person that I normally am, and just feeling good and stuff. It was just at the track, a weird mood.
Yeah. Interesting. Once again, it's fun what sports does to you, because I'm pretty sure it meant a lot to you and you wanted to do well.
Yeah, it was a moment I was dreaming about the past 2 years.
So moving on to the 20th of January 2020, a date we had all been looking forward to. What kind of emotions did you feel like eating breakfast, for instance?
I felt totally normal.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know why, because I was nervous the day before. Not too nervous, but nervous. And just the race day, I was feeling confident, and I just had a normal day. I had a really normal day. It was like a day off until the race, except the sewing.
Yeah.
Because I woke up, and then we had breakfast, and then we were sewing, I think. And after sewing, I went down and played ping pong and stuff. Just because of I didn't know what to do, which was a weird thing because I maybe should have concentrated on the race, but I think that might have been one of the key points
Yeah.
or something like that, because that made me not think about the race.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then time of the race, I wasn't nervous either, which was also really good, because being nervous isn't good. And I feel like being nervous doesn't feel good, because you just don't slide the way you normally slide when being nervous.
Yeah, sort of. You put being nervous, you unintentionally put limits to yourself, right? And those, or you sort of block your movements. And in a sport that is so sensible, skeleton, the sled can feel it, and so you'll probably drive bad, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just briefly talk about the vibe in the Olympic Village, because obviously it's had some influence on you on race day. What do you think about that? It was just amazing, right?
It was definitely amazing. It was like a little packed everything, because we had no space. But in the lounge, in the YOG lounge and stuff, it was real fun. And it was just a place where I could just not think about anything, or just think about like what's happening now. And it was basically, the village was kind of a happy place, or generally St. Moritz was like a happy place.
Yeah. So the race.
I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it made sense.
I think it made a bit of sense. It was great atmosphere, right?
It was, yeah.
So this atmosphere was something that you took with you into the race. So the first run, I remember you had which start number did you have in the competition?
I think I had number 13.
Yeah. And I'm just taking a quick look at mine. I had number 16. So I see your race. I remember like hearing Lukas Nydegger, he's preparing to race, something like that. And so I stick my head out from the changing room. And so I see you go like 5:03 in the start, right?
I think I did.
Yeah. Some like
I'm pretty
I can
sure.
check. Yeah, 5:03 in the first.
5:03 or 5:05, something like that.
Yeah. And so they go like, "Oh, that's crazy good start. No one has started this fast." And so you start sliding. And you get like a massive speed down at the bottom. And people go like, as soon as you crush the finish line, people, like the spectators goes like, "Oh!" It was not intense, but it was super weird, because everybody was like shaking their head. What did he just do? Because like after the first race or the first run, Elvis, who was the second fastest, was 0.74 seconds behind you. So once again, you were quite fast compared to the others.
Yes.
What did you do in between the first run and the second run?
I think I ate an apple.
Yeah.
Which it's just like a minor detail.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just sat down, listened to music like I do every time in a race. Then I started talking to my family, because I left the starting area, talked to my family. And then I started doing like my warm up.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I started way too early, which I found out a quarter hour later. So I went back to the
Changing room, locker, whatever.
Changing room, yeah, locker room. I was about to say laundry room. I don't know why. and that moment, I was sitting there for 5 minutes. And then I thought, like, why am I sitting here? Now I don't got no time anymore. Which was kind of dumb. So I started warming up over again a quarter hour later. And at that moment, I just did my warm up and feeling a lot more confident than I felt before the first run, because it was again like some sort of a cushion because I could have lost so much time. As you said, 0.7 seconds,
Yeah.
I think. And I still would have won. And that felt really good. So I was feeling really confident, and I was just doing my warm up and then just went to the start.
Mm.
I changed in between, obviously.
So you finish a race, you go 5:06, so a little slower in the second run, but you end up doing a 1:08.41 compared to 1:08.59. So it's a faster race, but what more important is that you won Youth Olympics. You cross the finish line, you break. I don't quite remember how you broke. Is that how
I
you?
think it's broke, yeah.
Yeah,
Or,
broke
or
the sled.
well, I didn't break, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and you look up at the leaderboard. Maybe to your surprise, I don't assume you're super surprised because you know it wasn't too bad of a run. You see that number 1 is standing next to your name. What do you remember? What do you remember feeling in that exact moment?
I think I felt joy.
Mm.
I really felt joy, and the first thing I did, I started laughing under my helmet, and then I forgot how to brake, and I just fell over,
Yeah.
and I fell over my sled and onto the mat,
Mm.
the braking mat, and I didn't know what to say, and I was just laughing and walking to the actual finish area, still laughing, and that was all I did. And then I saw all those other skeleton racers kneeling down, and I was like, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that felt so awkward for me, and not right, actually.
So Lars, who is a fellow slider from Switzerland, he comes over to me. I think maybe 1 or 2 sleds before your race, or maybe even during your slide. He goes like, "Oh, we should kneel for Lukas because he's been so dominant." And I was like, "Guys, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't want that." So I was just spectating them doing it. But yeah, it's fun to hear your perspective from that compared to mine.
Yeah, so it feels like we're actually right saying I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was funny, but still I thought it was awkward.
Yeah. And so there's a clip on the Olympic channel where I think you hug Tim. You give him a hug, or he gives you a hug.
Yes, he gives me a hug.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do at first because he came like this to me. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah.
And so
I didn't know what to do anymore because the only thing I wanted to do was smile and laugh.
It's one of those moments where you don't know, where you can't prepare how you react, right?
Yes, it is.
It's sort of just an emotional.
It's hard to remember, actually. It's like it's an emotional overflow or something.
Yeah.
And and the day after you don't know anymore what happened. You just know I was so happy, but you can't remember the feeling because it's so intense.
It's fun you say that because even though I finished 9th, and I mean I wasn't super satisfied with that, and I also just only remember the afternoon vividly. I remember like sort of, what do you say, teilweise. Partly I remember some parts of the afternoon, but yeah, because a lot of emotion was just running through your body, and you wanted to suck it all in, but it was just impossible because 1,000 things was happening. You had your family, and you had the mascot ceremony and media. And did you do doping as well afterwards?
I did do doping.
Yeah.
Just right before the medal ceremony.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like a quarter hour prior to the medal ceremony, and I was just running all the way to the medal ceremony to be on time.
Yeah. Oh man, it's not. I don't want to change that afternoon because I think I just want to relive it, right?
Yeah.
Just go through all of it once again. Even now, it brings a big smile on my face, on your face as well. Oh, it's super fun. What's next in your career? What have you set your sight on?
I do not know yet.
You don't
The
know.
first thing I will do now is probably concentrate on graduating and get a good GPA in the end.
Yeah. I know how long you have left in school, but for the viewers, how far are you in the grad or the school system in Germany?
So I'm like in the second to last year, so this year and then next year, and then I'm hopefully graduating.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing I want to concentrate on, and then maybe in 6 years, I don't know how I'll evolve until that day, but by chance, maybe going to the Olympics in 2024.
26.
26. I was
Milano.
like, what am I saying? 2026.
I'm the host, so I'm taking care of the stats. Yeah, so do you know, like, specifically, does your coach have a plan for which racing categories she wants you to participate in the next year or the year following?
She definitely does, I think, but I don't know what she's planning on.
Okay.
But so I have some sort of a goal for next year. So one of the goals is the Junior World Championships. And the other goal, which I don't know if I will, I don't know about the Junior World Championships either, but the other goal for me is maybe going to the ICC, competing in the ICC. But it's not a goal where we'll be really disappointed if I'll not make it, because
yeah, as you said earlier, you want the happiness.
Yes, I want
doing
to have
skills, and you want that to be the main driver in your career. And
yes.
Yeah, okay, it's pretty cool. So time will tell what Lukas Nydegger will do with his career.
Probably.
How far he'll come.
Or yes, it will.
Okay, so I gave my Instagram followers the possibility to give you some questions. And so the first question is, hi, how are you? And I think what you want to say is, how are you during this Corona time?
First of all, hi back. And how I'm doing this Corona time, it's been a little weird. The first 5 to 6 weeks, I just didn't do anything. I was so lazy. I was like, nah, I won't go to school back this year. And so I just didn't do anything. I just did some work in my family's garden. But after the first 5 weeks, I thought, like, why am I doing this? Because if school starts, or the day school starts next year, I will have to do so much of catching up. So I started doing school, and that's been like my reality for the past 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Basically 4 weeks, I think. That's just approximate.
Yeah, okay.
Time spans, but basically 4 weeks I've been just having a normal day, but not leaving my house.
Yeah, okay. So you would say the life of Lukas Nydegger in quarantine is fine.
It's okay, yes.
Yeah,
it's like okay. I can't meet any people, which is pretty sad. But apart from that, it's okay, as you said.
So the next question, this might be a bit embarrassing to you. It's one of my friends. You don't know him, but he asked, does winning a Youth Olympic gold medal give a lot of attention from women?
Wow. Okay, That's not what I've been expecting, and I probably would say no
No. Okay.
because I'm not running around bragging, "Hey, I won the Youth Olympic
I
Games."
have a medal.
Yeah, I'm still like the same person, but I remember going to a party and people were like, "Hey, there's this guy,"
Mm.
but they were people from my school, and so, but I wouldn't say there's a lot of attention,
No, no, okay.
not
So it's
or
just
not
something
at
that
all.
people know, and yeah,
Yeah, they don't go crazy about it or something.
maybe it would be different if you lived in a huge city or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe yes.
So the next question, you've already answered this. It was one of the first things. How long have you done skeleton for? And that was 7 years, right?
Yes, that was 7 years.
And the other one, or the last one, when did you know it was skeleton you wanted to compete in? And you have answered that one, but have you done any other sports?
I have done some other sports. So I've done baseball,
Yeah.
actually, and I've done skiing, but it also wasn't really competitive. Other people were competitive, and I was like, hey, I'm just being here, and I'm just doing what's fun for me. So I
Mm,
always ended up last place, and I think I wasn't too good of a skier,
okay.
but I just did it. But I was not too bad at baseball.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because baseball and skeleton, you wouldn't think that those two had any similarities, but maybe
Not
in
really.
some degree they have. Okay, so I think we should consider rounding this interview up. I want to give you one last question. I'm listening to a podcast once in a while, and the host, he always finishes off by asking the ones he's interviewing how much of their success they blame. I use that word, like, you know what I mean?
I
How
think I
much
know
they
what.
they they think that their success has been because of luck or because of hard work.
Yes. I think it's probably initially it's 75% of luck. Actually, initially it's 100% of luck because at first you don't do hard work on you're not working hard on saying, "Hey, I want to become this and that," because
Mm,
you don't know that at first. You just try something out, and that's the moment where you have luck or don't have luck because there's so many sports out there, or generally so many things you can do out there. And to find the one thing that's right for you is definitely 100% luck.
yeah.
And after that, it starts being hard work, but still it's luck. Because every single detail on each day still affects you, I think, and it's
Mm.
still and that's 75% luck and 25% hard work after the first day or the first day of deciding I want to do this.
That's super interesting because in skeleton and bobsleigh and luge, the weather has such a big influence, and so
Yes,
it's interesting what you say, the how you divide the numbers, because yeah, there's a lot of things that you can't do anything about. The Europa Cup race you won in Winterberg. Do you remember that one?
I do, and it
Yeah.
was. I think it was definitely that race was 90% luck.
The weather was miserable.
Yes, and I had the luck to be one of the first people to start, so
Hmm,
that's why I'm blaming it entirely or almost entirely on good luck.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. Lucas, I want to say thanks for talking to me. That was super fun, and hear some of your stories. And like we talked a bit about the Youth Olympics, and obviously that was a massive point in your career. Hopefully there will be a lot more. Yeah. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you. First of all, you're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Amazing. I'll talk to you. Bye.
Yeah.